We have the pleasure of having Sean and Kim Kamborian here in the studio with us, and we're super excited about this conversation. They are a significant part of our campus and are heavily involved in a variety of different ways, which we're going to be talking about. But I wanted to start out with just asking you guys about your vacation that you took to Alaska. And we got to watch from afar through social media and just looking at what you guys got a chance to do and to see. And so can you just describe how you guys experienced Alaska?
I'll start. That was the most amazing vacation I've ever been on. And as a couple that's only been married 4.5 years, that was probably the best thing for our marriage.
Yeah, I think it was the first time we went on a plane together, which is
Wow.
really weird for like 4 years, first time. And just being able to experience nature. And I got to go on a helicopter for the first time.
Wow.
So
That's
it
awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah, like the helicopter went where? Where did you guys fly in terms of the helicopter?
We stayed in the first 4 days of our trip. Was the two of us. We flew into Anchorage, and then we rented an RV for 12 days.
Wow.
And we went to Valdez, which was about 6.5 hours from Anchorage.
Oh my gosh.
I made him drive. I was like, come on, you can do this. Get off the plane.
And how big was this trailer that you guys were pulling, or motorhome?
It was a 32-foot motorhome.
Wow, so it was big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
That
stuff.
is pretty big.
Yeah.
We had another couple that was joining us. They were supposed to go to Banff, but because of all the stuff going on with COVID,
With Canada.
Canada got
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah.
So they jumped on board with us and said, do you mind if we join you guys on your vacation? And we were all for it. And then their adult children asked if they could join us too. So,
Wow.
which in an RV you would think would be
Tight
quarters, but
yeah.
there was 6 adults.
First time ever camping with them, and we committed to that, and it was a blast.
Wow.
We'd do it again.
Yes.
That's awesome.
When so I'm trying to remember when was that trip? It was post COVID or pre COVID.
Just this last summer.
Dang, that it feels like that was a while ago.
No, yeah.
June 9th to June 22nd.
Yeah.
We were in Alaska, and
That's so fun.
it was pre-salmon season, so it was like early season for Alaska standards, but the weather was ideal. The only negative of the whole trip was Kim wanted to see a bear, and
No
more
bears?
and we didn't see one bear the whole trip.
Oh, shoot.
Because people told us that were fishing on the river, they saw bears come down. The bears would look at the river, realize there's no salmon running yet.
Yeah.
They're about 2 weeks early, and then go back up.
Wow.
So, but we saw bald eagles, moose everywhere.
I bet.
We had a mama moose
That's awesome.
sleep right behind our RV in Denali.
Oh my gosh.
And in the morning, she gets up, and she had 2 babies with her the whole night. So we were lucky that Sean didn't get charged.
And they're huge.
I walked
They're
out of the
huge.
RV. I walked out of the RV to go take a shower because we were staying at the campground. Instead of using the RV shower, I decided I'll go. It was like 7 a.m, and I walk out, and there's a female moose looking right at me about 8 feet away.
They're pretty aggressive, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the most deadly animal in Alaska.
And can't you see, like, when they rub up against they use their antlers, they rub against the trees and rub the bark off, and it's way up in the trees. I mean, those things are super tall.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I got to paddleboard on a glacier lake, or we did. So we had to put some dry suits on just in case we fell in. But it was amazing. The glaciers, the blue ice water. I got a big old water bottle and had to get some blue glacier water.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Kim and Vandy, the wives actually did pre-camping trip scenario, like outline. So we had a kind of a roadmap.
That's cool.
Because again, we went up to Denali, and Denali is quite a drive out of your way, and so we did Valdez first, which was our favorite of all. Personally was my favorite city for the first 2 days in Valdez, and then 2 days of driving, and then we picked them up in Anchorage, and then went right up to Denali.
It's pretty much somewhere new every night.
Wow. Just sounds amazing. I would love to
so
do it.
cool.
I love the pictures. So I wanted then to shift gears a little bit to talk about Financial Peace University, because you guys have been heavily involved in that. You yourselves, you have a story to tell about your experience and adventures through, getting your financial aspects of your life together and figuring it out, and then also leading other couples through that process. And so you've watched a lot of people cut up a lot of credit cards in those classes, and so you've seen people, get debt down in significant amounts. And so, kind of tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. Well, our Alaska trip was our debt-free trip. That's how we celebrated. But growing up, my dad was always good with money. He was a saver. He was very. He just kept telling me, save your money, save your money. And I never saved my money. I just, as soon as I get it, I'd spend it. And
sevens don't hold on to money very well.
Yes, I'm a 7.
Just by default,
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, cool. Sean's going to be in charge. I always was waiting for this man to be in charge of money for me so I didn't have to be responsible. Like, just let me spend money. And so I think that was like a wake-up call for us when we got married, and we didn't agree on how we were going to spend money, save money, a little bit of fear that kind of, for me, I was like, we had a door that had a broken part or something, and he wanted to go to Home Depot and put it on a credit card for like a door. I'm like, we can't even afford to fix our door without credit. It freaked me out. And I think women just want security. And so I started Financial Peace on my own. I was like, I'm just going to do this because I don't think he's going to do this with me. And went to a class on my own. And as soon as I was there, everything is, you have to do this as a couple. This is a married issue, not something you're going to solve on your own. So,
were you anti, like, when she went to the class, like, first on her own? Were you kind of like, I'm not jumping in on this?
Well, to back up, I had a financial background.
Okay.
So I was always brought up, and my teachings that I learned were use the bank's money. So don't use your own money, because you get free money from the bank, especially if you have good credit, you can get loans with almost no interest.
Yeah.
So I was a firm believer of that. And then so when we got married, the first year of our marriage was probably the roughest part of our marriage. In the last, because we've been together, married for 4.5 years. We could not agree on anything finances wise, because we're just opposites.
it was a fight.
So
We just didn't talk about it.
A really good friend of ours who unfortunately passed, he went to Sandals, and he was on his deathbed and told Kim, you need to go to Financial Peace. You need to take Sean to go. And we couldn't be we weren't on the same page. So Kim went to the 9-week course by herself the first time. Everybody's couples. And so we're married, and I'm not participating, which really is rough on a marriage. Mm-hmm. So she would listen to Dave Ramsey in the shower every morning
instead of music,
and I would hear, I'm like, who is this kooky guy, Dave Ramsey? And I try, as we'll get into later, what I do for a living, I'm on the road a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'm in areas where I get poor reception, so I'm always dialing through to the radio stations, and I came across Dave on his podcast, and I started listening to him, and I'm like, he kind of makes sense.
You couldn't get away from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Dave was coming after you, man.
Well, then for her birthday, she's like, I want to go see Dave live. Wow. So
that's cool.
Not really what I wanted for my birthday, but I wanted him to hear Dave live.
Yeah.
Right.
So we went to see. We went down to San Diego to the Rock Church and listened to him live.
Yeah.
And
Miles McPherson. That's the Rock Church.
Yeah. So we were. I was like, what basically switched my view is we have a mortgage, and I was always under the premonition that if you have a mortgage, you get a tax write-off. So Dave dispelled that, myth at the live, and once he talked about it, and I realized, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. You're saving Peter to pay Paul, because you're still paying taxes. But you think you're saving taxes, but you're paying interest on the home. Yeah. So long story short, it took 2 full 9-week courses of Kim going. I went to one class the second time around, and the third time around was being offered at Sandals East Valley. So we went and took the course, and we actually dragged another couple of ours with us.
Matt and Brooke Allert.
Awesome.
They went with us.
Nice.
They went with us. So we
Love them.
Yeah.
I was totally bought in, to the point where I drove, I think, everybody crazy in the class, because I would listen to Dave all day driving and then come in and have all these like people
He's
be
like,
like,
well, Dave
insights.
says.
Beautiful. Total 180 right there.
And he's a 1. So he's like, let me tell you what you should do. Yeah.
I'm a shoulda person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shoulda on everybody.
Right and wrong, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So we that was our journey, and I had been interested in, I felt like it was the calling that I thought, it changed our lives. Basically, it was like marriage therapy. Going to therapy for the finances is what saved our marriage and helped us communicate. So I felt like I think I approached you because I heard they were looking for people to teach it, and Kim and I wanted to teach it at Sandals Banning.
And so you've helped a lot of other couples through this process. You guys had a group that just went through recently.
Yeah.
How much debt was written off?
Sean knows.
$26,000 in debt
That's
out
awesome.
of 6 individuals. There was 10 that came to the class. We had 10 in our group. And through the process, 2 people actually got side hustles, so they couldn't finish the whole program because they realized they needed to make more money, which is what you want to do. So we were super proud of them, because that's, a big part of it. And then just seeing the impact it makes on people. And the tough part is, like, for us, we've taken it several times, financial peace, and we're not perfect. Just because we're leading the class, most people think, oh, they have all their stuff together financially. They're not making any mistakes. We make mistakes every day. We actually need the class as much as teaching the class.
You teach
as much.
it.
Yeah.
Because
that you stay accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Parallels very well with the Bible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So long story short, because I know I could go on forever, but it's changed our lives, and we love that it's changing other lives.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that classes are going on a fairly regular basis throughout the year, and highly recommend anybody that has not taken the class. I don't care if you feel like you really have your finances down pat. There's still things you can learn from this class. Tracy and I have taken it multiple times and done some coaching on it with other couples, and life-changing. Super thankful for the sinking fund as we plan out, we have 2 girls and weddings, and, setting aside money for those things in advance, or car tires, or your future roof that you have to replace, or whatever. So let me ask about a blended family, because you guys are a blended family, and a lot of people on our campus experience that as couples and coming together. So tell us your experience with that, and kind of the bumps and the struggles with it, but also the highlights.
Yeah. So I have a 21-year-old son, Josh, and he's amazing. He's a good kid. And so he was 17 when we started dating. And 16, 17. So we've got this teenager that we're teaching him how to date and how to have relationships. And now we're on display, our relationship, and how to do that appropriately. And so he's watching every move that we're making as a couple, and he's watching Sean. He's got his eye on him. He's not really sure about this guy. It was a good time for us to step up and be a good role model to him for what that looks like. And then being married, and now Josh has this other man in the house, and it was just Josh and I forever. So that was a big adjustment. Sean likes everything in order. He was a bachelor, and he traveled a lot, so his apartment looked exactly, everything's clean, in order. Comes home, it's clean when he leaves, clean when he goes. And Josh and I are both 7s, and we're like, let's go party. Oh, we don't need to clean up. Let's like throw everything out of the car that we just got back from this trip so we can go to another trip. And so this poor guy.
Grace.
That's what I have to tell my wife all the time too, because I'm high 7 as well. And so she likes like structure when it comes to especially like the house. And even with all of our kids that we have, it's the same thing. Like she's got the kids doing chores already, and like it's crazy. She's always, everything has a place, right? Mm-hmm. And she likes to clean a certain way. It's not even just put things away. It's like to clean a certain way. And it's like I can try and help with that, and she doesn't like the way I do it. And so she's like, I got to redo this now, and I'm
yeah. I think one of the things he finally conceded on is the house cleaner. Because for me, I need to have somebody scheduled coming so that I can fold and put away my laundry. Mm. And he just automatically does it every Sunday.
Yeah. It's like a reflex.
He washes, dries, folds, and puts away all in one sitting.
Wow.
And I don't do that.
That's impressive. That's a commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And on Sunday.
Wow.
It's like the same day. So I'm like, oh, she's coming in the morning. And so I do it the morning before she gets there. Like, oh, gotta have it. So that kind of stuff, Sean loves me, so he kind of puts up with mine, but having a kid that does that, and so 2 people, I think that kind of puts you over the edge a little bit.
It was tough on Sundays when I do my laundry and Josh's clothes are still in the dryer from like Tuesday when he did them. And he'd come down and you'd be like, what are you doing? I need some underwear. And he'd pull out a fresh pair of underwear that he left in the dryer and put it, Yeah, it works. Yeah. I'm like, you could put it in the basket and then bring it to your room. If you don't want to put it away, it's one thing, but
it's like an extra dresser just right there. It
yeah, exactly.
Looks a little different.
So,
it totally is.
Yeah. The blended family thing, because I don't have kids of my own, and I love Josh. He's an amazing young man. I lucked out because it's tough, especially when you've had a young man his mom's been everything, and she's taking him everywhere because they're adventurers. They were never home on the weekends. Road trips, and so. Structure-wise, I'm really structured. I want everything a certain way, and
boring.
So
you got to live a little, man.
Yeah, that's why we had to go to therapy.
Well, you're not just this boring guy, though.
No, you're an outdoorsman too.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll dive into that because you do you race and are sponsored.
Yeah.
In motocross, and then also you do mountain bike racing. So you love to be outside and outdoors, and that's pretty adventurous. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I do the National Grand Prix Series, which is 4 states, basically. It's California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and Idaho, and it takes a lot of time away from the family, and weekends gone. So I've tapered back on that so we could, because, it's easy when you're single, you can do whatever you want. And that was, again, if we back up, blended family, being single for 10 years. I was previously married, of course, but this isn't my first marriage, but I made a lot of mistakes in my first marriage, and I didn't want to make the same mistakes in the second marriage, and I was making some of the same mistakes. So we've been working on it as a couple and figuring out how to make it work, and communicating is the most important. Because I'm a structured person, so I put everything on the calendar for the whole year. Wow. And so Kim she sees the calendar, she knows I'm racing next weekend, but I wouldn't say, hey, honey, I'm racing next weekend. Oh, it's your birthday, I'm not going to be here. Instead of communicating, she saw I'm racing that weekend. We can do her, Yeah. So those are some of the things. So as much as I love to race and do things, I forget that I forgot for a little while that I have someone else that needs my time.
Yeah.
It's not all about me. And so it's a passion, and it's like therapy for me because it releases all the week's, stress. I come home on Sundays and I'm ready and renewed, but it's not the same when she's not there with me because I miss her company, but it's not as much fun for her. So I understand. So she does, sometimes we don't always do things together as a couple. So that would probably be
because you're an outdoors person too. You like to kayak
but quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm teaching. So I teach middle schoolers and so they're loud and they're talking the whole time. And so when I come home, I've been in town all week. He's been out of town, driving around. And I want to go somewhere where no one's at, and I don't want to hear any motorcycle sounds.
Yeah, motocross nationals is not like a serene setting.
No.
And the camping, he tried to trick me. He's like, "Oh, we're camping," and I'm like, "This is a dirt parking lot with a whole bunch of people with motorcycles
And jumps. What is happening?
Yes, exactly.
Fireworks at night and
Yeah. And so that was a shift for me. I was I'm like trying to find some quiet place along the river where nobody else is at. So yeah, we've been trying to figure that out. I think Alaska was that first thing for us of like realizing that we have to take vacations together that we both enjoy, and it might not be his favorite thing to do and not my favorite, but how do we blend that? How do we find our new thing together? Awesome. So
you mentioned you're a teacher. What grade level?
6th grade.
Okay.
Teach at San Gregorio Middle School.
And you've been doing that for how long?
Let's see. I've been a teacher for 16 years, and I've been at San G for, I think this is my 6th year there.
Wow.
Started in kindergarten, and 6th graders are kind of like kindergartners. They're like, what do I do?
We have a lot of kids that come to youth from San G.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're rowdy.
They're rowdy.
And now
that's why I don't serve in kids.
You need a break. You need a break.
No, in youth. The ones for
in youth.
Yes.
Youth or kids. I'm like, yeah.
So you're on Christmas break right now.
We're on
so you
Christmas
my
break.
gosh.
Saturday.
I can just see it on your face.
For 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah. Saturday
Yes.
was grades for 8 hours.
Wow.
And I'm like, don't talk to me till I'm done with these grades. I can't do anything. I can't Christmas shop. I decorated the tree today.
Wow.
Because
better late than never.
It's awesome though.
We're so thankful for our teachers. So thank you for your commitment to our kids, and that is a big deal, and we appreciate that. Sean, tell us a little bit about your job, because it would be a little bit complicated for me to try to explain what you do. I know what you do, like I can visualize it, but explain it like I would screw up if I try to explain it in
It's a secret agent.
So I work for an underground construction manufacturer. What that means is we make tools for boring underground.
Oh, wow.
So we're in every water district, every gas company like SoCal Gas, San Diego Gas and Electric, PG, Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E. I handle California, Arizona, Nevada. We service direct and we sell direct. My main focus on we have a team of 2 of us. I focus on the service side, but I sell as well. And then my boss is focused on the sales side, but he also services as well.
And so this is equipment that bores a hole through dirt to allow for a space for piping to come through.
Correct. So when you'll see, like example, Beaumont Banning, they're redoing some of the new service lines. So the main line is the stuff that's in the street. We do mainline stuff too, but my side of the business, I mostly focus on service line equipment. So the equipment will bore from the street to the house underneath your yard, driveway, so you don't have to tear it all up. Where what they call open trench is what you see, where they take a backhoe and they dig a trench.
I used to do underground pipe.
Yeah.
And this is not cheap equipment. Like the type of boring equipment that you're talking about is like, this is high end, expensive equipment.
Yes and no. So we do drills, directional drills, which are very expensive.
Yeah.
I focus on what they call the grundomats, or you hear guys call them whole hogs, missiles, bore tools. So,
I've heard that, whole hog, yeah.
Yeah, so they're a smaller item that looks like a missile. They range from a diameter of 1 3/4 inch all the way up to 7 inch in diameter.
Wow.
And they weigh from anywhere from 50 pounds up to 400, almost 500 pounds.
It's just amazing that you can bore a hole like you're not in an open trench. And so you can identify like, okay, I'm going to go from this place to over there underground with this boring equipment.
Yeah, so you set up a sending pit, and then there's a receiving pit. So and we recommend no more than 40-foot shots without opening up what they call a pothole. So if they had to go across a 4-lane road and it's 60 feet, our hoses are 50 foot in length, you could add another hose. But if you go too far without opening it up, you might have a chance of it diverting.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, how do you know? But it's the distance. So you don't want to go too far and then just hope that it lines up in the other.
Yeah.
Correct. It's point and shoot.
Okay.
So there's not, sorry if I'm not speaking close enough to the.
No, you're good.
But they're not redirectional, so you can't direct them. You point and shoot, and if you're off on your level or your direction,
That could be an expensive mistake.
Yes.
How do you guys how do you find it? Like just normal, like kind of like stand up ruler, like great. What do you do in order to be able like laser level, figure out like from what the fall is from one point to the other?
You can tell John's interested because he's been involved in this.
We're the manufacturer, so we just sell the equipment and service it.
Okay,
we don't do the actual shots.
Okay.
So every customer we deal with has different ways of, like you said, laser. Some do just a aiming frame and which has a scope on it.
Yeah.
And they'll put a post on the other side. Some guys just use a shovel.
Yeah, with like a laugh on the other end.
Yeah.
It's funny because like whenever someone comes on here, we talk about this stuff. It just kind of tickles that itch because I did construction for 10 years, but I hadn't done anything. Like once I started ministry, it was like, all right, here we go. Totally different world, like jumping into this thing. So it does like kind of like take me back. Yeah. It's cool like to be like, hey, I know how to do this.
Talking shop.
Yeah, let's go talking shop, man. Because for a little while I did underground pipe, a lot of trenches, trench shoring, all sorts of stuff like that. And we would sub other companies out to come do some of our boring for us.
Yeah. Yeah. We're a pretty boring company.
You're not boring, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a dream job because I work from home. Like I said, I handle California, Arizona, Nevada, but primarily this past few years, mostly California. Ty goes to Arizona a lot, and we also have Alaska. Alaska is one of our states, so she was like, last summer, wait, we could
go back.
Stay up here for the whole summer.
Awesome.
And Hawaii, and we have Utah.
Yeah, let's do Hawaii.
Yeah.
I get to go along on that one, though.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of hard to drive my truck over there, so
take a ferry.
Usually I have the customer ship the product from Alaska or Hawaii to my house.
Wow.
But,
mission trip.
Mission trip, absolutely. I'll carry the equipment. I'll do whatever. I'll be your baggage carrier.
Let's go.
So,
somebody needs water somewhere, right?
Somebody does, I think.
We want to help somebody.
Yeah. So I live on the road all week. I'm gone most of the week. I'm not gone every single day and not every week I'm gone, but probably 8 days of the month I'm overnights.
Wow.
And so a lot of times I go to the Bay Area. I used to keep another truck in the Bay Area and fly up, but COVID kind of put a squelch on that. So we just sold that truck. So I have a lot of customers in Bakersfield and Fresno and Stockton so I always drive up and then I have to drive back anyway. So it's just easier.
Well, we just appreciate you guys coming in, and this is not your whole story. We might have to have you guys back for, more details about different things, but we're just thankful that you guys were willing to come in and share a bit about your story. It's a way for people at our campus and even outside of our campus to connect with you, get to know you, maybe connect in a way that in something that they're dealing with or struggling with in their life that might be helpful, some insights. And so thank you for sharing. And we always wrap up with me just praying for you. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay. Lord, I just thank you for Sean and Kim. We're so blessed by them, Lord. I love seeing them at a campus. I love seeing their smiles. I love seeing them serve. I just enjoy them. I enjoy their friendship. I enjoy their personalities. We're blessed to have them. And I just pray a covering upon their marriage, their family, upon Josh as well. Lord, I pray that you cover Kim, during this break, I pray that she would just get the rest that she needs as a teacher and just recuperate. And I thank you for the work that she does, just teaching and training 6th grade students and pouring into their lives and instructing them and helping them to become educated. I know she does way more than just educating them, Lord. She's speaking into their lives in existence. And I pray for Sean as well and his job, all the miles on the road. Keep him safe, give him journey mercies, establish the work of his hands, prosper them in this season of their marriage, both financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Draw them closer together to one another as they draw closer to you, and help them, Lord, just to also inspire others on this journey, whether it be in a blended family or in their managing of their finances. So we just commit them to you, and we rejoice in advance of that work. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Hey, also, Steve, I went riding mountain bikes the other day with Steve and Justin, and they were like, you got to come out here with Sean. But maybe you ride with us a couple more times first, because Sean's a beast. Dude, they were talking you up the other day.
He just went yesterday after church.
Don't be humble. Look at you. No. They were like, yeah, Sean. They're like, it's hard for us to keep up.
Josh went with him once. And
one time and last
one time and didn't go again. He's like, he's crazy. He's going up all these hills.
I went with them, and it was because I'm getting a bike from Steve, a Giant from him. He's given it to me for a really good deal, and I went riding with them, and it was a lot of fun. And they thought I wasn't going to make it as far as I did, which was cool. It was awesome, but it was hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technique that goes into riding up those hills. And riding down, and I did.
That's why you need an electric bike.
I did take a little dive. I did get an electric bike, but that's not for the.
Oh, yeah.
But no, but they have electric.
They have
bikes,
e-bikes, yeah.
and they
so
can
he
tell you.
keeps up with them on their electric bikes, basically.
Yeah, they
on
can
a non-electric bike.
A non-electric.
They can tell. Like after this, we went down, rode the trail, and then I went back up. But then at that point, Steve towed me with his. And it was nice because I still got to pedal, but I just didn't like have to get exhausted. But I was exerting myself still to keep my heart rate up. But it was crazy because his e-bike was pulling me like it's really cool. But yeah, just wanted to let you know. They said that you're awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
You're just great.
You are great.
Well, you guys, thanks again.
Yep.
Appreciate
you guys.
having
Thanks
us.
for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.